Hey, Coach, we know it's Charlotte. We didn't know that last week. What do you like about the matchup, and what are you guys thinking? Just initial first thoughts.
Well, it's going to be a good matchup. You know what? They're a good hockey team. They have good size, and they transition as good as any team in the league. We've got to make sure that we watch our turnovers at the blue line. We can't have any because they always have a four-man attack. It's going to be a good series.
You've had some recent success against them. Does that play into this, or is it kind of a fresh mentality?
Well, it's kind of fresh. Like, we're playing against a team that's already been in playoff mode. So the thing is that we have to get to that point. We're trying to simulate that with scrimmages the last 3 or 4 days, and so I think it gives us a bit of confidence. But also, like, they had their way with us too a few games. So the thing is that, like I said, it's going to be a good series.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Last week we talked about what the plan was with the rest and making sure the guys are in tip-top shape. Has the plan gone to plan? And
I'll let you know Friday night after the game. But no, like, it's been going good. Like, we've factored in some rest. We had a bit of fun last week with the golf tournament, but we had some good work days, and like I said, we're trying to get in playoff mode here by simulating, just by having scrimmages against each other in all different scenarios: power play, penalty kill, 6-on-5, 5v6. And so, like, it's hard because you want to get that intensity up, and it's hard to do it against your own teammates. But I like the intensity today.
you said you also talked to Dylan McElrath, a couple of the other vets, to go to some of the young guys that haven't experienced this and let them know the pressure. What have you seen from the young guys through these last couple of days that say, hey, they're ready to go?
Well, you know what? Hopefully everybody's ready to go. Like, that was the plan through our practice plans. But you know, if anybody watches the National Hockey League right now, or even watch the highlights from the American League, people can see how intense playoffs are. And that's one thing that we want to make sure that everybody knows in that locker room, that it's going to be a very intense series.
Kind of on that same note, you go from not playing for almost 2 weeks, and then you play back-to-back nights, and you play 5 and 8 if it goes the full length. How do you kind of ramp it up that quickly, too?
Well, you know what? Hopefully, we're going to travel down to Charlotte tomorrow, and then our practice on Thursday will be really high intensity. And as a coaching staff, that's what we feel is the best for our hockey team, is to have, like, very intense drills, get the guys ready. And you know what? Going into game one, we have a certain lineup set up, but when you look at it that way, where you play back-to-back games, we're probably going to need some fresh bodies for game two. And there's always injuries in playoffs just because of the intensity.
The 2-3 format, does that change anything, just in the sense that, you do get those games back home, but if you lose both, you come home facing elimination?
Well, that's the tough thing about a 5-game series, especially with the format going 2-3. Just like a 7-game series, you're looking to get a split on the road at least. That's why, hopefully the guys are ready to go, because you don't want to dig yourself a hole. And it's an odd situation when you have home ice advantage, but you start at the road. And I've been through these before, and things happen real quick. And so we got to make sure we're ready for game one.
And how difficult is it to pre-scout them when, they're missing Dalby, they're missing Lyon, they brought in the kid from Michigan. It's kind of a different team from what you saw earlier.
Yeah, a bit different. But we watched the last 3 games they played, and, they played a physical brand of hockey. Also, they can skate real well. They're really quick. But we have a pretty good idea of what we're up against based on, it was nice playing them recently too, 2 games in a row. So we got plenty of videos to go through, which we have been. And now it's just narrowing it down and just focusing on what our game plan is.
Hi, Todd. Ian Owen from RMNB. I wanted to ask you first about Connor McMichael was very good down the stretch. He had a 10-game point streak. What did you see from him that maybe made him stand out a little bit more?
I think just his intensity. Like, he has good speed. We saw Connor really take a step about maybe 2.5 months ago, where he's saying all the right things on the bench. He's leading by example, and we saw a leadership side of him that I didn't expect, but it's nice having that, because we have a strong room, and like, he helps with that. But his speed, in practice he's been working really hard. He's trying to be the hardest working guy out there, and it's translating to good hockey.
He did get an A towards the end of the year, speaking about leadership. What went into your thought process about giving him that, awarding him that? And maybe, he's more of a quieter guy from us from the outside. What do you see maybe that we don't see that makes him more of a leader?
Well, you kind of hit it on the head there. He is a kind of a quiet guy, but he was definitely more engaged with the group over the past 2.5 months. Like I said, saying all the right things, helping out the young guys, even though he is a young guy, he's been around. And so, just how he is in the room. Like, Connor has a voice in the room, and guys respect him because of how he plays. I think he's playing the game the right way right now. He's not cheating the game, and he's going to be heavily relied on. He plays on power play. He's probably going to be killing some penalties for us, so he's going to get a lot of ice.
I'd be remiss not to ask, one of the things that's popular on social media is your guys' post-game, when you guys win the post-game Player of the Game award. Can you kind of walk us through how that came about, maybe even where the bear head is from?
I don't know. Like, every team has something, they hand out a vest or a chain or a cowboy hat or whatever it is. Apparently, the guys just found the bear head somewhere, and it stuck. And so kind of over the course of the year, when you put the bear head on, you have to do the big roar, right? And so guys have fun with that, and it's nice seeing, like when they give it to a player, it's not necessarily the person that got first star of the game that scored 3 goals. Maybe it's someone that blocked a shot, or maybe it's some big save at a key moment. So the guys have fun with it, and I think it means a lot to the guys.
Final thing for me would be, I know you're focused on the playoffs right now, but up in Washington there was a coaching change. Some of the staff was let go. What was your relationship with Peter Laviolette like this year? And do you want to have consideration for the Capitals' job over the summer when the playoffs end?
Well, with Peter, it's the first time I really met him and got to work with him, and there was a bit of dialogue over the course of the season, who's playing well, who's not. So it was a good relationship that way. And so, I think, with what happened up top, as you said, I'm focused on the present right now. It's everybody's dream to make it to the National Hockey League. Coaches are no different. So, but we're focused on the Calder Cup playoffs. We want to make sure these young players in there have a good playoff run and a good experience. So when they do graduate, they can help the big club in the Stanley Cup playoffs.